and welcome back to Together We Pause with me, Faye.
And me, Helen. It's time to dive in. Let's grab a cuppa. Faye, I've had a week. Faye.
I mean, I do know because you told me a little bit on what...
Because you are in the world of people that like dentists.
Well, hang on. Whoa. I don't know if I like my dentist. He's actually...
Is he a hottie?
Pleasant on the eye. But that aside, I don't mind it. I love going to the hygienist. I just think it's very, like, you get all the gubbins off, and I like it when they get the claw thing and scrape. Oh. I just think you leave and you think, oh, my teeth feel really clean.
No, Faye.
Okay, what happened?
So, because of the stress of the last year of like losing mum, I've been grinding my teeth.
Oh.
And now I've got to have, I think, what is called a crown.
I've got two.
Right. But I have this fear of the dentist that I'm going to gag because I hate the thought of them in my mouth, like, ugh.
With the suction thing.
Oh my God, yeah, it's all too much. So when she said, I've got to do a crown, basically I've got an old filling, I've been grinding my teeth, I've chipped a bit off the filling, and now they're like, to be safe, we need to give you a crown. And I'm like, no. So I've negotiated it that they're going to put me to sleep. So they can't general anaesthetic you, but they can put you as near to possible, because it takes an hour and a half to do a crown. So basically I've got to have a crown, and I'm really upset about it.
And you're going to be sedated for such a thing?
Yes, I am. And I have to pay an extra £200 for the pleasure. But I'm like, yes, please.
Yeah, sign me up.
And Mark's got to go with me. And apparently I'm not allowed to be left for 24 hours because you're still like giddy and weirdo. Not weirdo, giddy.
I think I'd be more stressed about being sedated.
No. When she was like, it's going to take about an hour and a half, I was like, I can't even... This is how much I hate the dentist. I can't even have their, when they do the x-rays and they put that...
Actually, that is uncomfortable because you have like a plate. And
I know. And it makes me want to be sick. And I'm like...
Are you going to be sick now?
No.
Okay, good.
Don't worry, I'm not going to vom. I'm very upset about it. And now I've got to have a crown.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever had extremely terrible toothache?
No.
I think that's why I like the dentist, because I've been saved by them.
Okay.
And if you didn't have your crown, that's going to go one way and it's going to hurt a lot.
Well, and she said, because you're grinding, at some point, that tooth is just going to break.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have like a shard of tooth, which means you're going to have a crown. So she's like, let's get ahead of the game. Let's give you a crown. So I'm really upset about it. But I'm just going to be asleep.
Okay. Well, come back and let us know how you get on.
I will do. What's really funny is that Mark and I, we've got a friend, Leslie and Carl, and they own our dental practice. And there are only two people that can do the sedated crown, and Carl is one of them. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to book Carl. I love Carl. He's awesome. Great guy. He's not going anywhere near my mouth. So I've got to book the other lady.
I wouldn't want to be like a dribbling mess in front of my pal.
I just don't want him to look inside my mouth.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, that, isn't
it? Super weird. Sorry, Carl, we love you, but you're not going near. And even he said, I can do this for Helen, but actually she probably wants the other lady. I think she's called Sarah. Sarah and I.
Come on, Sarah sounds lovely.
Yeah. But that's not what we're here to talk about. My terror of my dental.
I mean, it's kind of related because we're going to talk about stress.
Oh, yeah. I've had a stressful year. I'm coming out of the other side. And in fact, I've just come back from holiday and it was the most peaceful I felt for a really long time.
Like you're always just back from holiday.
I know. But holidays are my love language.
Yeah.
When we first met, I was like, I want to create a business that enables me to go on holiday.
Yeah.
And you were like, fair dues, let's do it.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about some of the stress that you've been through recently?
So my mum died last year. And I've had a very big project, top secret project for work. It's coming.
I know what it is.
I don't know why we're whispering into the mics.
I don't know.
We've done it twice. We'll stop. And so I think the combination of the two of them has created a level of stress. And I think that with starting HRT and body changes and all of that stuff, the last year's been actually really stressful, and it was so nice to be away and to just take a deep breath and be like, I just feel normal actually. You know, when you go through a period of stress and you just feel like really abnormal, and you also think that everyone else is in the wrong because you're like, why is everyone so annoying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why you are just such a DICK. I'm spelling that because I know that we're not allowed to swear.
Yeah.
On
Please
the
don't swear.
Please don't swear. What was that? Channel 4?
This is Davina calling.
Yes.
Please don't swear. We're live on TV.
Yes, yeah. It's a bit like that, isn't it? Are you Davina?
I would love to have been Davina.
She's cool, isn't she?
She has my favourite job in the world.
Your favourite job in the world?
She has my favourite job in the world, which
Okay.
is just being a fun TV presenter.
Oh.
Podcast. Like, Davina has the best job in the world.
Davina has the best job. And she's now got a new partner, hasn't she?
Who's a hairdresser.
Phil and Mark need to retrain.
Phil's bold.
He'd be a great hairdresser.
Oh,
Have a lot of
he
experience.
tried so hard when Grace was a little girl to make little ponytails and things.
Mark just would never even tried.
No.
So it's been quite stressful, but I definitely feel like I'm coming out the other end. But there's definitely things that I've been doing which make a big difference. We know that the Lush bath bomb.
We've gone there.
I am so intent that Lush are one day going to give me a brand partnership.
Can you imagine getting the box of 365 bath bombs?
Lush. I do daily content for you. I do affiliate links. So I think the baths really help, and also my walking really helps.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm really stressed when those things are things I can't be bothered to do.
Yeah. I have a question. How do we know we're stressed? What is stress?
So for me, it's a feeling. It actually
Of what? Describe it to
So
me.
it sits in my body.
Right.
So I, as you know, I've had quite a lot of anxiety attacks and a lot of anxiety generally, and that sits in the top of my arms. So I know that when I'm about to have an anxiety attack, my arms feel quite different. And for me, stress feels like someone is sat on my chest.
Right.
It's like the pressure. It's like I feel out of balance. I feel like something is like aggravating me in some way, because I feel like you deal with stress really well.
I'm just, as we're talking, I'm actually like digging around in my head trying to work out.
Come on, Faye, have something to say.
No. Where, like, how I know the difference between anxiety and stress, because I believe me, and we've talked about it so many times.
Yeah.
I know anxiety.
Yes.
For me, it's in my gut. Like,
Yes.
absolutely. I can make myself feel it now if I wanted to. But stress, I don't know. Maybe that's because if I feel stressed, it makes me feel anxious.
Yeah, maybe. I also think though that you manage your life quite beautifully, in that you kind of, maybe you don't have a huge amount of stress because you manage your life beautifully and you stick within parameters, and actually, because you've created a wonderful life, haven't you? I think
so, and I feel very grateful for our situation and our health and our wealth and our, what we the opportunities that we have in our life. I'm trying to think, like, I get like antsy about things, and usually if it's like too many things and I can't sort all of the things out, that's probably like my most common feeling of stress, and that's more like up here for me, like in my chest, and like, oh, everything requires my attention and I don't know what to do. And I've definitely got worse at that, because I could, and I say this not to brag because I don't think it's good for anyone, but I used to be able to juggle about 25 plates at the same time, and now one is my maximum, I think.
One thing done really well, move on to the next.
What I'm quite good at doing is saying, like, if I'm feeling like things are on top of me and then something else is trying to join the party as well, I'm quite good at saying, I can't think about that right now. If you could just remove that, and then I will come back to me, or put some time in my diary, and then I'll worry about that later. And I know not everyone has the ability to do that. And I suppose that's a consequence of having multiple businesses and multiple things going on, and building businesses and having babies at the same time. I've been forced to have the boundaries. I think the boundaries change, and I say this with love, when something big like grief happens. Because actually you can't say no. You're in the middle of probate, and we've just sold my family home, which we had to empty of a lot of family stuff, mum and dad stuff, and there was like really challenging questions about like, what is, like, does the garage belong to you, and
like what happens with the parking space, like all of those things. Like there are things that you cannot push back. And when you have are going through grief, and obviously my mum died last year, my dad died 5 years ago, so it's like it's a rolling stone that's gathered moss in some ways, because actually the grief never goes of someone that you love, and then you then get more grief on top, and it's hard and it's difficult. And so what is difficult with your situation is if something really big happened, sometimes you can't put those boundaries in place, or your parameters just become smaller and smaller because you're trying to like maintain it all. And I say that with love, because I wouldn't want anyone to go through the year I've had, but equally we all will at some point.
Absolutely.
You know? And so my stress is very deeply linked to grief, but like you, I'm a worrier, I'm an overthinker, I'm a people pleaser, and I think you're right, that muddle of anxiety and stress, it's very difficult to differentiate. I feel like I got that.
You got that.
But like we were looking at the stats.
I wrote some down actually, because I think these numbers are horrific. 74% of adults have felt unable to cope in the last 12 months.
Which is mad. And the impact on the workplace is even more.
Yeah, well, it says here 79% of adults have felt stress in the workplace.
Yeah.
It's a strange one though, isn't it? Defining stress in the workplace.
It is. But I think it would be, because obviously we work for ourselves, so we control what's happening in and outside of our business, don't we? But I think like my husband works as a contractor currently, and there's been a lot of stress in his organisation about people finishing contracts and not being renewed and all of that stuff. And actually, I would imagine that in a 9-to-5 work environment, there are lots of stressful factors that you actually can't do much about in terms of the impact of that on you. Of course, you can have strong boundaries, but if you're already depleted and you're already stressed, it's then very difficult to say, oh, actually, this extra stress I'm not going to think about, because then it just becomes a massive boulder, doesn't it?
Also, there's the question of like, one person's stress is not necessarily the same as the next person's stress.
Totally agree.
Like, and this isn't to play anyone down or anything, but when I had a proper job and worked in I always do that, proper job. When I worked in the corporate world, there would be people who would quite happily tell you how stressful their lives were and how they're snowed under. And then actually, I'd have to bite my tongue, because I'd be like, how is it possible that is stressing you out? And who am I to judge whether that person is stressed or not?
Because bandwidth is different for everyone, isn't it?
Absolutely. But some people seem to be able to tolerate more than others. I'd find that hard if I was in a corporate organisation and had a team of people, which is what I used to do. I used to manage people.
Yeah.
Thinking about that now I'm older. When I was in my 20s, I'd be like, crack on, people, off to work. And they were all of a similar age.
Yeah. Whereas
now, I think I'd be so much more considerate and perhaps even a bit more judgy. Like, come on, love, pull your socks up.
Yeah.
But who am I to say whether they're stressed or not?
But also, you don't know what's going on outside of their lives.
You don't.
So, probably for those people that have like stumbled across my Instagram account in the last 12 months, if you were one of my followers when mum died, I was very open and honest. My mum's passed away, I'm taking some time away. But actually, over time, I talk about it less. I don't say on Instagram, I've been having a really hard day because I'm suffering with grief, like I feel really stressed about this today, because actually people only see one side. And it's the same with work. Like, you don't know what people are navigating and managing in their home environments and even in their past, in trauma. And actually, who are we to say whether something is stressful or not?
No. But isn't that curious when you think about working relationships with people?
Yeah.
Like,
I also think, though, you and I are both very resilient and quite courageous because of having our own businesses and because of the life we've led and the decisions we've made to get here. I wonder whether we hold stress quite well because actually we are resilient because of the people we are.
And that's what I mean when I'm thinking like, when am I stressed? You know, we were talking about it earlier and you said, oh, well, my son's just taken his GCSEs. And your words were, so that must have been quite stressful for you all. And my reaction was, no, Not at all.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not saying that because I'm some sort of hero or my son's some sort of amazing, like, academic. It just wasn't. And I wonder whether, and this is just me musing to myself, I wonder whether...
And the internet.
and the whole world. Please don't at me. I just wonder whether in some situations you get to choose whether something is stressful.
Yeah.
Or whether it's not. And you know, I'm talking about GCSEs. We all had to do them. And I know some people find it horrific. And I feel so bad for families who really struggle with very anxious children. I'm not talking about that now. I'm talking about, you know, my situation was with a boy who's pretty happy, did his revision independently. So it wasn't stressful. But when does it become stressful?
But there has been times where you have felt stressed and been stressed, isn't there?
In my life?
Yeah.
I think so. I think they're more so when I was under the employment of somebody else. I think if things are getting on top of me now, it's more an anxiety because I make that into something. I will be in a situation where there's a lot going on, or there's things that are potentially worrying for me, and I turn that into a gut feeling of anxiety. So I don't ever feel like I'm stressed.
Yeah.
I don't really have that feeling, but for sure I get twitchy and anxious about things.
Yeah, I guess it's the way you label it, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like the definition of what that looks like and feels like to you. Because maybe there are more boundaries that you put in place when you can feel it coming on.
Yeah.
Maybe there are actions that you take that you know, like I know when I'm really stressed, all I want to do is eat chocolate and cake. And I also know that when I'm really stressed and when I do that activity or eat that type of food, it makes the feeling worse. It makes me feel less balanced. And actually on holiday, because I was eating like lovely fresh food all the time. I love holiday food.
Oh, same.
Holiday food, yum. Actually, maybe that helped me feel a bit more balanced. Maybe that helped me feel a little bit less stressed. But I also think taking yourself out of your environment always helps, doesn't it?
Yeah. And, you know, I'm not unaware of the privilege of me saying I'm not stressed. You know, there's people who I know live very stressful lives. You know, they don't know if they've got enough money to feed their kids one day to the next. I cannot actually imagine how stressful and anxiety inducing that would be. I don't think I would cope very well in that environment.
But again, the decisions you've made to get you to this position and the life that you lead and, you know, the businesses and all that stuff, there has been stress along the way.
Yes.
And that has made you resilient in this moment to hold space for the things that are going on. And actually, I know, I tease you all the time about your boundaries, but actually I know that there has been some stressful times over the last couple of months. And those boundaries kind of, you know, like they come up and they move and they go, you know.
Yeah, it's true. And that's the thing, isn't it? You know, my mum said to me this weekend, she was like, she referenced someone being lucky and she said, oh, your dad doesn't like that term. And I'm not sure I like that term either. I think sometimes you do get lucky, but often the lucky people have put themselves through mightily stressful periods to reap the reward on the other side. And you know, you and I were talking about it before we started filming today about, you know, what it takes sometimes and what you put yourself through to get the win on the other side.
Yeah.
And we've put ourselves in some, actually, when you think about it, really stressful situations where you are financially invested in something. And if it doesn't work, you've lost a serious amount of money.
Yeah.
Do you think we've just become immune to that?
No, I think an entrepreneur has to make difficult decisions every day.
Yeah.
I could absolutely get a job at Tesco or other supermarkets. Stack the shelves.
About this.
Stack the shelves.
Oh, I'd be a beeper.
Yeah.
I'd be beep. I'd be in Waitrose and I'd be beeping.
Oh yeah, love Waitrose. But you know, we could probably easily get another job, right?
Yeah.
And there would be less decisions to be made.
Yeah.
We'd get a certain amount of money at the end of the month. We wouldn't feel the stress and the worry about our tech stack breaking or our website going down or Instagram removing us as a user, like all of those things. But would it be worth the stress reduction to make life easy?
No.
You know? And actually, I think we live in a place of stress because we like the life we have. I'm unemployable. I think if I went to Tesco, I'd be like, no. I'd be like, no, this isn't how users want to use Tesco. I'd rearrange all the shelves. The signage would be different. I'd have a welcomer, like the kind of entrance, not a security guard looking if you're like going to rob. You know, like I don't think I could be employed. I think I'm at that point now where I'm a lone ranger apart from when it's you and me. And I that's just how I like it.
Yeah.
Because then we can control it, can't we?
Yeah.
I feel like we've gone quite off the path of stress, but
we have. But it is fascinating. And I do think with, you know, the privilege of being the entrepreneur, with the privilege of having children, comes stress.
Yes. And I think it's how you manage it, and it's the kind of the support system, whether that's the actions and activities you do every day or the people around you that help you really manage stress.
Yeah. What's our takeaway?
So my takeaway is actually that I'm a lot less stressed than I thought I was.
Okay.
And that actually I'm a lot more resilient than I thought I was.
I think
apart from when it comes to the dentist, and then I'm quite stressed.
Along with something like 75% of the population, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think resilience is a really critical.
And we can build our resilience, can't we?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people berate themselves for difficult moments in their lives because they feel they could have done better or should, like, you know, there was a different decision that they could make. But every decision has led to where you are.
Yeah.
And actually building resilience is about making difficult decisions in those difficult moments. So next time it's easier.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks. So I get a gold badge, gold star.
Gold star for health.
So I'll take it. Thanks.
Good. Interesting indeed.
Interesting. And if you obviously are stressed, do reach out to a professional if you need to. And we'd love to know your comments and thoughts on this conversation.
Thank you for listening to this week's podcast. Coming up next week, we're going to be talking about diet culture.
Gosh, it's a massive topic.
It's a biggie, isn't it?
We're going to be talking about the likes of Ozempic, and body positivity, and how we feel about diets. So it's a really interesting one. I feel like this is going to have a couple of parts. I feel like there's going to be more to come on this.
I think you might be right. So make sure you join us, like and subscribe, and don't forget to join the waitlist for the community that we are opening very soon.